BakuBrad96 here again with another Bakugan Evolutions deck profile. I'm keeping the content coming for the hashtag WeWantCards movement, and this time it is with a mono Ventus build. Of course, this is part of my new customized deck box series. I am having a deck box made for each faction, as well as I am building a deck of only that faction for the deck boxes. So this is Ventus. I have reviewed Aquas, Chaos, and Darkest already. Definitely go back and check those out if you want to. Otherwise, stay tuned because this is going to be an epic deck profile. I spent a lot of time working on it, and I hope you all think it is as good as I hope it is, if that makes any sense. But before I get straight into that, I do want to remind everyone, it is still the Pros Save Pro Bakugan TCG movement. Myself, as well as a handful of other Bakugan YouTubers, are really stressing the point that we want the pro game, we want the trading card game back, and we are really trying to get Spinmaster and the official Bakugan channel's attention. So whenever you can, whenever possible, make sure you all use the hashtag WeWantCards and, ping Spinmaster, ping the official Bakugan channel if you want to. Just have them notice all of our videos, have them notice all of the content creators that are seriously promoting Bakugan right now, because there is a ton of us, and we want nothing more than for this game to succeed in all levels. Like, I don't want just the toy battling game, I want the trading card game, I want it to be a collectible card game, I want the whole 9 yards, right? And I'm sure all of you can agree, so let's just keep pushing it, and hopefully we'll get some answers. So, starting off this deck profile, I will go ahead and explain the team. The first Bakugan up is the core Ventus Colossus. As soon as my camera zooms in a bit, there we go. So it has a Flaming Fist and a Helix core, B power of 900 with 3 damage, and then Victor, so if it wins a brawl, you get to remove the enemy's Baku core. So this is a really good effect. I know it doesn't look like it on paper because, well, for instance, you just won the brawl. Why are you wanting to remove a core from a Bakugan that has to put the core on the field anyway? Well, you're not thinking hard enough if you're thinking like that, because you can remove a core from a Bakugan on that team. Unless I'm mistaken, removing that Baku core doesn't have to be the active Bakugan. It can be other Bakugan that your opponent has won with previously. So, in other words, this just stops an opponent's team attack. That is the main point, at least, of me using this Colossus, because that's how I am utilizing that effect or ability. I could be completely wrong, but I hope not, because, just very powerful. Not to mention that on a plus 500 B power minus 1 damage, this bad boy is at 1400 and 2 damage, or you can use the plus 600 minus 3 and be at 1500 B power with 0 damage. So very strong for Ventus, and also gives us access to really good Baku core as far as the deck building goes. And here is the Ventus Colossus. Now this is the regular version, it isn't platinum, so there's no metal, just that epic neon lime green, and all of the cool painted patterns. I really like the new Ventus design, it is very nice. So that is the Colossus. Now the core I am running on it for the team. Just to help out with damage, of course, it is a plus 6 Flaming Fist. And then the Helix is the one that I mentioned first, the plus 500 B power and minus 1 damage. Again, I don't want to take too much damage away from the Bakugan, but I want there to be a healthy medium, and I think this is the core that does it. The plus 300 B power plus 3 damage just wasn't doing it for me in this build, mainly because I didn't want that much damage. I just wanted as much B power as possible, just to make sure Colossus would win, and then I got the effect off, if, that makes some sense. So as a support Bakugan, I am using Genesis Trox. It has the same core lineup as Platinum Sectanoid, which is the main focus of this deck. Of course, I will get into that later, but Genesis Trox has a core lineup of a Magic Shield and a regular shield, B power of 600 with 9 damage. So definitely a damage-heavy Ventus Bakugan. The B power with this deck doesn't matter much because I am using another reduction strategy, which I know that's like every Ventus deck I build, right? But this one makes sense, especially with everything the deck is trying to do. It does have a game plan and like a win con, if you will. So that's always good to know. But yeah, for those of you who don't know the Genesis Trox in the background, here he is up close. Such an epic Bakugan. You know, all of the Genesis Bakugan out of that collection are just really strong, very well made. And yeah, I would suggest picking up that collection to just about anyone. Even a big fan, you know, little fan, you love the game, you don't. It is just a really awesome set to pick up. So I am using the Vanilla Bakucore for Trox, which is plus 300 B power regular shield, and then a plus 650 B power magic shield. So again, nothing too far out, just regular good old cores. Now then, the main boss of the deck, HM Warrior 23. If you're watching, I know you will appreciate this. This is your partner Bakugan, the face of your channel, and of course the Swarm. It is Platinum Sectanoid, which has a regular shield and a magic shield core as well. B power of 100 with 7 damage. So once again, a damage heavy Bakugan. But if it lands on a magic shield, you do get to add a Bakucore from the field to your active Bakugan. And then if it lands on a regular shield, you are going to be stealing a Bakucore. So 2 very good effects, much like my Mono Aquas deck yesterday. Go check that out. It will be linked in the description down below, where Platinum Neo Pegatrix had the same effects. I just really like these. I think these 2 are very powerful, good to utilize, and both Bakugan are great. So the core for Platinum Sectanoid is the same for Trox. That's why I said Trox was the support Bakugan, because all the Genesis Trox is doing for the team, honestly, is just giving me another regular shield and magic shield. You could use any Bakugan, any combination. One Bakugan I did consider running was the Ventus Core Blitzvox, because it has a good effect on a regular shield, as well as it runs 2 regulars. So it was really all about the ratio I wanted, Nanogon, all that good stuff. But here is the Platinum Sectanoid. Of course, the whole middle of this Bakugan is metal. Very unique in that fact that it's almost the entire Bakugan. So very cool. One of my favorites, Platinum Sectanoid. Now I am using 2 Geogon for this deck, which I will get into in the actual deck profile. But as far as the figures go, I have Ventus Amfrog and Ventus, well, I was going to kind of roll it out, Ventus Monstropod, which as you can see, it can double core. So that's pretty neat. So those are the Geogon. Now for the Nanogon. I don't have a lot of Ventus Nanogon, and the ones that are printed right now aren't that great, but I used what I had. So first up is Nano Fury on a regular shield plus 400 B power, which is already a really nice boost by itself. Second effect, however, is on a regular shield, Helix, and regular fist plus 1000. The second effect is probably never going off in a game, but the first effect of just the plus 400 is really nice for this team, because you can land on a regular shield fairly like over half the time. After that, I do have Nano Riptide. So on a Flaming Fist, you get to add a Bakucore, and then on a Flaming Fist and regular fist, you get to steal a Bakucore. So again, just some utility here depending on what I land on. I do have access to the Flaming Fist, not the Green Fist though, so I would have to pick up an opponent's Bakucore. It can happen, but again, kind of relying on what the opponent runs with this one. And then the third Nanogon is Nano Sledge. I know, this isn't a full shield team. I am working on one, and then one of my Baku crew members, Jay the Human, suggested a Mono Nelius shield deck. So that's going to be Mono Darkus, so I won't be able to use Nano Sledge for it. But if it wasn't Mono Darkus, this Bakugan would actually, or this Nanogon would be great for that team. In this team, not so much. You do only have 2 regular shield. But again, I'm kind of thinking outside of the box of what my opponents might play. And if they play shields too, I might actually be able to activate this. So, for its actual effects, on 3 regular shield plus 1600 B power, and then on 4 regular shield plus 3000 B power. Probably never going to use this Nanogon, but it will sit in the side deck, if you will, just in case the opportunity arises. You never know what the opponent plays, especially when play groups start coming out of the woodworks, when game shops, local game stores actually start carrying Bakugan. And I'm being positive that it'll happen. I think play groups and playing in tournaments will be a thing in the future. At least I hope so. Now then, it is time for the main deck. Starting things off with a card you all know very well if you watch my channel, and that is G-Force Drop. It is a really nice action card. For 1 energy, you get minus 300 B power, and you get to scan. So, very good. Just a solid 1 energy cost card with a good reduction ability. Again, this is a bit of a reduction B power strategy, but I do have other things mixed in. For instance, I do have 2 Stoneblade, so 1 energy for plus 2 damage, and if that Bakugan is holding a Green Fist, energize this uncharged. So the reason this is in my deck is honestly, I know it doesn't fit, but if the opponent is running a Green Fist, you do get some damage, but you get a free energy. And this is kind of like free ramp. You land on an opponent's Bakucore, they don't think it's going to help you. You drop a Stoneblade, free energy, right? At the end of the day, worst case scenario, it is a 1 for 2, which isn't perfect. But I thought, circumstances, why not give it a try? And it was new. I wanted to use new cards that I had just pulled, for the most part, where I could. After that is 2 Venom Blast, 1 energy for minus 4 damage. 2 Piercing Scream, 2 energy for minus 400 B power. And then getting into the ramp of the deck, I do have 3 turn to energy now. So that is 2 energy to energize this uncharged. So again, just kind of ramps this up to having more energy than what the opponent does. And then there is 3 Deafening Roar, so 3 energy for minus 600 B power. A lot of reduction. The team usually doesn't have to worry about getting its own B power up, because as you go through the game, as the turns go, and as you get more energy, you're able to just reduce more and more of the opponent's B power. But next up is the reason why I called Platinum Sectanoid the main focal point of the deck. And that is because of this right here. So I do have 3 of the Diamond Platinum Sectanoid Evo cards, which make it a lot stronger than it already is. 3 energy for an upgraded B power of 700. The damage is 7, and then it retains its effects from the regular character card, which makes this a really good Evo. One of the best out of evolutions so far, at least in my opinion. Because I really like to see it when a Evo card keeps the abilities of the original character card that it's from. That is just really strong, really nice, and also 3 energy is nothing for this deck to get, especially given the fact that it is a ramp deck of a sort. So after that, for the other 2 Bakugan at least, I do have a couple of Bakugear cards. Savage Swarm. 3 energy for an armor rating of 1, and then it has boost. When you play this, if you have 7 or more energy cards in play, give a Bakugan plus 500. Again, that is just extra utility out of the card if you have it. If not, it's still okay because it just adds 100 B power and 4 damage to your Bakugan. So again, a source to get really good damage or just soak up an opponent's attack. Either way, I thought this was pretty good utility for the deck. 2 Vicious Defense, 3 energy for minus 200 B power and minus 6 damage. 2 copies of Crystal Quake, 4 energy to draw 2 cards, and then Turbo. If you have the most energy cards in play, you give an opposing Bakugan minus 700 B power. So if you've ramped up past the opponents, you get that awesome ability. Otherwise, this kind of just digs through your deck late game. Maybe potentially hit a Geogon for the win. Following that is 3 Ventus Aerial Trick for the scan synergy of the G-Force drop. So 4 energy for minus 400 B power and minus 4 damage. But if you reveal this with a Scanner Scrounge, you can reveal it to give a Bakugan minus 200 B power and minus 2 damage. So extra utility while in the deck. Otherwise, when you draw it, it is a powerful reduction card. And then I do have the Winton Bakugan Brawler Hero. Obviously, 4 energy. When an effect would reduce an enemy's B power or damage, it is reduced by double that amount instead. So very powerful hero card. Definitely one of the best, if not the best, in my collection. And I only wish I had more because this could definitely be run max 3 copies for sure. Because you want to see it every game you play it. And then 3 Glacial Glare. So 5 energy for minus 1000 B power. And then again, scan synergy for that Ventus Aerial Trick. But very powerful card here. And again, with Winton on the field, this is 5 energy for minus 2000. Just think about that. Just let that soak in. That is incredibly strong. And you probably asked yourself, well, if all your cards cost 4 or less energy, what is the deck ramping for? Well, this is why the deck has a little bit of ramp. It wants more energy than the opponent, just so you can get your Geogon out faster. They do cost a lot, but they are powerful. So starting things off with Ventus Amfrog, 6 energy for a B power of 2400 and 12 damage. I run 2 copies. And Olivia Styles, 6 energy for non-fusion Bakugan, get minus 300. And that stays in effect because it's a hero card. Very awesome, and the faster you can get her out, the better. And the other Geogon in the deck is, of course, Montrapod. 8 energy for a B power of 1500, 20 damage, and then built-in reroll. I can't stress it enough, that built-in reroll is amazing. And Montrapod wins games. It's not as great as the Aquas, but the Ventus and a ramp strategy is really nice. Not much an opponent can do with that 20 damage. And then wrapping things up with the flip cards of the deck, I do use 1 Photosynthesis, 2 energy to energize this uncharged, as well as 3 Repel Outsiders. So 3 energy to block non-Ventus. And that is it for this deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed my take on another Mono Ventus strategy featuring Bakugan from Evolutions. I'm definitely going to edit this deck as I go. I plan on editing them all. I have reviewed my Darkest and Chaos profiles, but they are being edited and reworked with all of the new cards that I unboxed or opened for the TCG movement. But that does it for this video. Don't forget to check out my fellow Bakugan YouTubers. Give them the same awesome support that you show me, because we all really appreciate it. We all want to promote Bakugan, at least I do. I want this to be like my main job, so to be monetized, to have that goal, and to have so many people willing to help me and support me is just fantastic. And I certainly couldn't be doing this without it. So just thank you all so much. Let's get Spinmaster to hear that we want cards and keep going forward. So thank you all. Until next time, stay safe, drome up, and Bakugan Brawl.